If you believe it, then it's true. So you can simply, although it may seem a little difficult for many of you because this has been a pattern, but if you can see yourself in a higher frequency, if you can see yourself as the best version of yourself, then that is going to begin to show up in your three-dimensional reality. How you can tap into getting to the 4D and 5D, which is ascending, being healthy, happy, and all of the things. It is about being intentional and being a deliberate creator. When you are deliberately thinking about the things that you're saying and doing, understand it is a practice because it's not something easy, especially when you're dealing with different free radicals in society. You're going to be dealing with people that have an array of different things going on with them. And so sometimes what happens is that if you're on your spiritual journey and you are focusing on living righteously, you're focusing on, doing the right things no matter what presents itself, that is when you're going to be heavily tested. Oh yeah. The enemy does not want to see you out of his grasp. And so this is why when I say the enemy, I'm speaking about dark forces. Some may even call it Satan or whatever, but it is really real. And what you may notice is that there's going to be a pull for you to de-evolve. There's going to be a pull for you to go along to get along and do what people that are on a lower frequency or people that give into the ways of the world. Because the enemy oftentimes allow these people free reign to just create havoc. That's why it seems like, nothing negative is necessarily happening to them. But that is very short-sighted. We're focusing on the long game. Okay, we're focusing on the blessings and the favor that happens when you are staying rooted and living upright and focusing on doing your better to become your very best. And it's achievable. And it's going to require you to not internalize aspects of yourself that may have to fend off certain attacks or things that came your way, or it may not even be that extreme. It could just be people slighting you. You could, go to take care of some business at a location and, they're just being rude for no reason. Oftentimes it is these people that are hurting on the inside. They're dealing with something. They may see something in you and you may look like you got it all together, and there's resentment that comes to the surface. That is not yours to carry. That is not yours to internalize. That is not yours to begin to think a negative association about yourself. This is an opportunity to deal with that in a way that is not going to cause you to spiral downward. As I mentioned about energy happening in cycles or in circles, say for instance, something has happened to you that may have been unfair. If you try to suppress that emotion and do not honor it in that moment, then unfortunately that energy is still within your body. It is going to come out somehow, some way. So instead of internalizing it, instead of numbing yourself, instead of overfeeding yourself, find healthy outlets, find positive things to do in replace of that so that you can process that emotion. All emotions are mad, wow, I said mad because a lot of people are suppressing their anger. All emotions are valid, and it's important that you feel those emotions, but do not allow yourself to be controlled and become a slave by emotional reactivity. When you begin to realize that if you believe it, it is true, that is when your whole trajectory of your life can change. Our brains have neuroplasticity, meaning we have the ability to expand our minds. We have the ability to shift our complete reality by what we believe about ourselves. So it does not matter what others have said towards you or about you. When you begin to develop a higher level of emotional intelligence and you understand that it's literally not about you, what's going on with them is their mere projections. Look at it as an opportunity for you to rise above it. Be proud of yourself and do not allow yourself for another minute to take on those negative mindsets. I want to share one other thing, and it is if you want to have a joyous life, you must think joyous thoughts. And if you want a prosperous life, you must think a prosperous thoughts. Okay. And if we want a loving life, we must also think loving thoughts. So whatever we send out mentally or verbally will come back to us in like form. And this is a major thing that you need to really focus on, because again, if you're focusing on being kind and nice and considerate, unfortunately, within this world, you're going to come in contact with people that feel as if you don't deserve that, or they feel as if, somehow they want you to operate the way they do. Try your best not to allow it to harden your heart, because truthfully, those people are the ones that really need that love the most. Okay? During that time, it might be best to focus on some positive affirmations, you know, get your water in, and then allow yourself to understand that what is happening is you are in a position where you can mirror to this person that they do not have to behave in that way. Even if you may step outside of character, even if you may, somehow get on that person level, when the opportunity presents itself again, try not to be in that frequency. Do your very best to think in a higher realm and not focus on reaction. Sometimes the best response is none. Sometimes the best reaction is silence, and allow them to deal with that. I'm going to share this declaration with you, and it is: in the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. I no longer choose to believe in others' limitations or like. I choose to begin to see myself as my highest version. I am perfect. I am whole. I am complete. The truth of my being is that I am created perfectly by God, and I understand that I have a divine calling over my life. I am here to be a blessing and not a curse to the world. I hope that has been helpful for you. This is some good news for you today, you all. Expect some amazing things happen when you begin to practice being intentional about your life. It's going to shift no matter what environment you are in. Sometimes the environment you are in is for you to be a blessing there just by your presence, not doing anything at all. Your life is a ministry. Until next time, I am Lotus of Judah, 1111 Ministry International. Bye.